Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Michael Burns with One Mic Out, and let me check to make sure this thing is on because I just did a whole rant and you missed it. Because why? I didn't have this thing on. I'm in here with the sweet, lovely-looking Naeli over here. You can't see her because she doesn't want to be on camera because why? It's Naeli and she's very introverted. But it's okay. Oh, look. She's like, don't say that to them. Don't. Like, whatever. But anyway, it's football Saturday. I've had more than a few blue moons, and I've had a few thoughts, but I'm so pissed because I literally just had a great rant that went on, and I thought I had checked the taint of my microphone right here, and I thought it was on, and at the end, and I was like, sweet, we're good, went full bore with it, and then at the end of it, I went back to check it again, and it clicked, and that means that it wasn't on. And so this whole rant, and so now I have to try and regurgitate the thoughts that I just had. And man, what a rant it was. I'm gonna probably talk more about the rant and how good it was, and not about what it was actually about because I can't fucking remember. That's how great my memory is when it comes to this kind of shit. But man, I don't even know how did I start that? I don't even know how I started that, babe. Well, how did I start that? I don't even know what I started. Anyway, I'm talking about how crazy things are right now with obviously you got Biden and all that kind of stuff. So essentially the basis of the rant was, here we are left and right, and we're always divided. And you got all these politicians. Hey, Google, turn it down one. You got all these politicians who are legitimately honestly on the same side, whether they're Republican or they're Democrat, they're all on the same side because why? Once they've got elected in the office, they start getting paid buku dollars. They start getting paid all this money. And so why would you, at that point in time, give a shit about what the rest of us really need and really want because you have made it? And so I'm talking about Republicans and Democrats. You Democrats, you guys are fucking crazy because you got these purple-haired, glasses-wearing, freaking, crazy chicks screaming about Roe v. Wade and screaming about what gender they want to be identified as or should be identified as and screaming about all this other shit. And it's like, well, how many abortions do you need to have? Have you had any? How many do you plan on having? And women's rights and all that kind of stuff. And Roe v. Wade, again, it threw it back to the states. It didn't take it away, just threw it to the states. And this is where I question your motives. I question where you're at. And this is where you try and hide behind pride and dignity and all this blah, 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 where you think that it's the greater good. But I say always vote your bottom line. Always vote your bank account. If your bank account was more with the other guy, whether it's Democrat or Republican, vote that person because they're doing something right to help you at the end of the day. If you don't have money, how can you afford an abortion anyway? And how could you afford raising kids or doing anything else anyway? You have to have money in your bank account. And the middle class, we are the ones who are all suffering right now. And all these politicians who pretend to be our friends, they're the ones who are laughing all the way to the bank because these super PACs and these lobbyists and all that are paying them left and right wing. They're all getting paid. And so they don't really care. None of them care. And this is the whole point. This is why I deregistered from the Republican Party. It's because I don't want to be affiliated with any party. I don't even want to be called an independent. I'm simply American. I'm a veteran. I want to be, I am simply an American. I don't give a shit about what party you care about because you should never have a loyalty to a political party more so than the country that you live in, the country that you claim to be a patriot of. You should never be more loyal to your political affiliate, who you want to be politically identified as. No, you should be an American first. And whatever is best for America should be what your main concern should be. So, excuse me. So when you look at who you're going to vote for, it happens every 2 years, presidential and midterm. You should look at your bank account. Who's been causing me to pay more taxes? Who's caused me to have more money in my bank account? That's who I'm going to vote. Everyone right now gets caught up in this whole Elon Musk needs to pay more taxes, billionaire, because he's causing my Twitter experience to be shittier. No, it's not. Twitter's fine, so shut the fuck up. It's fine. You haven't lost anything. If anything, the algorithms is gone, so now everyone's a fair shot again. But who cares? Does that put money in your pocket? And unless you're using social media, it's legitimately putting money in your pocket, and now I'll even put it this way. If those algorithms and you were more left leaning and somehow those algorithms were causing you to gain some money, yeah, I'd be mad too. If my main source and cheating way of getting income was compromised, I'd be upset too. But if it's not, who gives a shit? It should matter what is your bank account at the end of every month. Is it more or is it less? Is my cost of living higher or is it lower? Are fuel prices up or are they down? Inflation, up or down? Whatever it is. And so that's what you have to vote. Vote your goddamn fucking bank account. Stop voting your feelings, because your feelings don't do shit for you except cause you worry and cause you anxiety and cause you the depression that you bitch about every day that you want to use to identify as your one thing that makes you unique from the rest of everyone. When you realize everyone else is suffering from it, you're not the only fucking one. So vote your bank account, because guess what? You want to have money and depressed, or do you want to be broke and depressed? Make the decision. But who gives a flying shit if Trump is let back on Twitter? Who cares? Has it hurt you? If anything, it gives you another reason to get on Twitter, because now you have someone else to hate tweet. Does it fucking really matter? Shit. I just want it for the sheer entertainment of it. Elon Musk has been entertaining. Let's add Trump to the mix too. Kathy Griffin's fucking nuts, and she's back on. Let's get them all in there, and let's just have a great time and something to open up while we're on the pooper, and we have something to read about, and it's hilarious. But stop investing and committing so much of your emotion that's literally that you're choosing to have a bad day. You're choosing to be miserable. That's all a choice. You're choosing to be offended. It's no one's causing you. No one has that power over you. You're the one that's just choosing to be that uptight, that pissed off, that sad. That's all you. That's all your own fault. And that's why the rest of us don't care. But how you should be voting is your bank account. You should be voting, hey, do I have more money or less money in my bank account this month? As long as I've been doing responsible spending. What I'm getting at is, how much is the government taking out of your paycheck every month? And is that because of Republicans or Democrats? And if it's because of one or the other, then vote the opposite. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm getting at. That's how it should be. But the fact that a lot of you vote your pride and your ego and you're narcissistic, I mean, why should I give a shit then about you and if you've lost your job at Twitter that you never went to? I don't care about that. Who gives a fuck? If you're just a piece of shit, who's going to care? But if you're someone who literally is a contributing member to society and you're like, damn, I don't have as much money. I'm having harder time feeding my family. This sucks. Then maybe you should take a look at who you're voting into office. If you're in California and you voted for the blue, look how horrible California is doing right now. Here, electric this and electric that. Oh, wait, don't charge your shit because we don't have enough electricity. Maybe you need to take a look at where your tax dollars in California are going. In a lot of these states that are having these issues. So it's crazy. Florida, a lot of people could learn from Florida. Florida finally got sick of it. During COVID, during the whole shutdowns, all that, Florida, for the most part, remained open, was the most happy state. Everyone wanted to come to Florida, even Democrats. You motherfuckers wanted to come down here and hang out without your masks and all that, while you stayed in New York and while you stayed up in the Northeast and said, oh, mask this and mask that, and you need to wear them, and Fauci said this and Fauci said that, but then you'd come down here because you didn't have to wear a mask, and you were caught on camera not wearing your mask because you're like, this is great. I'm in a vacation destination, out to wear it, and COVID wasn't running rampant, or it wasn't killing as all the people that you thought so. Remember in the beginning of COVID, you saw pictures and video in Italy and China of like bodies all over the place and body bags, and like this thing was like the plague and gonna killing everybody. And then he found out it was all stock footage, it was all bullshit, and it wasn't killing that many people. Like, that's the media that you're still choosing to believe. The ones that say George Floyd was killed and this is horrible, when he had 3 times the amount of fentanyl that could kill a fucking elephant in his system, but yet it was a knee to the back of the neck that doesn't choke you because your airway's on the front. But somehow that from the back is what caused him not to be able to breathe. And you believe that because why the media wants you to believe that, because why they're trying to create a villain to the story. And the villain to the story at the time was Trump and the right wing and all this kind of stuff, MAGA stuff. Trump's 2 last tweets were him literally trying to be peaceful, telling everyone you're not a true patriot if you go to the Capitol, if you continue this nonsense, get the fuck away from the Capitol. This isn't patriotism. This isn't who I represent, yada, yada, yada. Then you have Kathy Griffin holding up a goddamn mock Trump head that's bloody and all that and is clearly Trump. And everyone's like, oh, she got kicked. Like, man, I'm telling you, use common sense, people. Don't be an idiot. Be moderate left, center, or right center. That's all I'm asking you to be, because we can talk to each other and we're all related at that point. The further out we get, the crazier we get. But be left or right. I don't care. My pop, during the Clinton years, he voted for for Clinton because he provided more tax breaks for small businesses, and he was all about that. I understand, because why? That was the bottom line. It helped him more. It helped us more. Excuse me, as a family. So don't just. I despise people who vote straight red or blue on a ballot, because why? That means you're not reading what the issues are. You're not reading what they truly represent. You probably didn't do your homework. Now, granted, if you did do your homework and you're like, nope, I still identify, that's great. But if you're just you're perpetuating the problem. Again, I use that word so much. You're continuing the problem. You're not helping. You need to do your research and learn. But at the end of the day, when it comes to it, the standard has been compromised, and the standard is the American dream, and the American dream has been compromised. So there has to be a new standard that's established, and it probably rhymes with a little bit of quibble and guar. Like, in all honesty, how did we gain independence from England? It ultimately may have to come to that. And the Constitution even talks about it and even supports it. Our elected leaders have become compromised so much, and I don't care who you are, left or right. Ron DeSantis has been compromised. I'm sorry, love him to death. I'd want him to remain my governor, and I don't want him to run for president. We went with Trump, and we bought into Trump, and we knew he was going to run again. So all these people, Ben Shapiro and Kenneth Owens and all them, getting all mad and like saying, no, DeSantis, no, fuck you. We bought into Trump, and he's a narcissistic asshole, but he was a billionaire that couldn't be bought. Give him 4 more years if he wants to run. And if he loses, he loses. But that's what we bought into. But to have DeSantis go up against him and them tear each other apart, not good for the Republican Party. But hey, DeSantis has been bought because he's not a billionaire. He has favors to give. So remember that. And so that's what has to be done away with. Super PACs, all this money, all this donations, donors, everything has to go away. And how do you get rid of that? Maybe installing an entirely new fucking government. Because right now it's all about no term limits. It's all about you go in as a thousandaire, you come out a multimillionaire on tax dollar dimes, and then you're passing laws doing favors to get other contract, defense companies and other companies rich. Nope, needs to fucking end. And the only way to end it is we the people finally coming together. And the only way that they know the biggest threat to them is us being united. So that's why they keep us divided. We have to become united. And the only way to do that is for us to finally get the fuck along. And that's why I say moderate left and moderate rights. We got to come together and realize that our elected officials, whether they're Republican or Democrat, are not looking out for our best interests. They talk a good game. They have tongues with, silver tongues that can speak a good game, but they don't act on shit and they don't do shit. That's why we're still bitching about the same shit year in and year out. I'm telling you right now, the only way to get there, I tell people beans and bullets. Stock up on food and prep. Stock up on guns and ammo. That's what you can do to control yourself. And buy gold. Gold and silver, and buy it in the tenths of ounces. Don't buy full ounces. Don't buy half ounces. Because if you have to barter, that's a lot of money. But if you have it broken down into smaller bits, it's easier to barter. It's easier to trade. Because guess what? If socioeconomic collapse were to happen tomorrow, your money in your bank account that's backed by faith isn't worth shit. It's not worth a thing. So I'm telling you, people, take control of what you can right now. But if you're seriously wanting to take control of everything right now and take things back, then we got to band together. But anyway, I'd like to know what you think. This is Michael with One Mic Out. And I'd like to know. Let me know what you think we should do as a country. Should we continue the madness and just kind of like push everything out and go, this is just how things are? Or should we finally take action, stop being lazy, stop being a frog in a frying pan, and actually finally fucking go, nope, enough is enough, and replace the government where we're at. Anyway, let me know what you think.